fellow diamond painting addicts, and welcome back to Diamond Painting Anonymous. I'm Daphne, and I'm here for the last video of 2025. I was going to wait and do this in January, but then I decided it made sense for a couple of reasons. I'm going to go ahead and do my December goals update with you guys. I'm not going to finish this kit, so that means whatever I've already gotten finished is what I've gotten finished, so my hours and finishes and all that good stuff I can do for my goals update for December, and it gives me a chance to do another whip and chat with this kit. Not a whip and chat, but a goals update, but I'll be working on it while I'm telling you about my goals. That way it gives me another chance to work on it and get some more done before I kind of put this one on a shelf to come back to as I can in 2026. Let me zoom into where I'm going to be working and I will be right back. Okay, so I spent a lot of today going through and doing end of year kind of admin stuff for my diamond painting, figuring out what kits I have left and trying to do a bunch of figuring because I have new things that I'm going to be tracking next year. For instance, I needed to figure out what is the square footage of the stash that I have left. I had figured it up once before, but I've completed kits since then, and I've also purchased kits since then. So I had to update all of that. I have been using a portable hard drive when I do my videos and stuff, so a lot of my raw footage and also my finished videos are on this portable hard drive, and I had to move them to my larger hard drive. Just, again, a bunch of admin stuff, printing out. I keep track of what videos I have posted, so I have a happy planner in the 9-disc size that since I started the channel, I have been keeping track of what videos I post and when I post them. And then I also write milestones and things down on it, so I need to get that updated, add more pages, all that kind of stuff. I also last year was in the habit of keeping track of everything on a calendar as well. So essentially I had 2 calendars, and while I was going through everything, I suddenly had the thought today, why do I do this to myself? I'm keeping track of the same thing in like 4 different places because I also track what I post on YouTube on my computer. So I don't really need to post them in multiple places. So I'm going to try to get rid of a couple of those just to streamline things for myself so that I don't have to keep it everywhere. I could just keep everything on the computer, and that's probably what I should do. But I just love my pencil and paper and analog stuff, so I go back to that. And yeah, I don't know why I don't need to do it. So I'm going to try and streamline things this year. Wish me luck. Because even when I say I'm going to do it, somehow it never ends up that way. But I'm really going to try this year because it is silly for me to keep track of it in that many places. So all that said, and after spending the afternoon frying my brain with all that stuff, I did go through and figure up all of my goals and everything for 2025 and where I was at for the month of December. So this will be kind of a month of December / end of the year update because, of course, whatever I complete in December, then I add that to my yearly goals, and that'll be how I did for the year. So let's dive in with my diamond painting goals. This year, my first goal, as always, is my diamond painting hours. So how many hours did I complete in December? Not very many. I only completed 54 hours and 47 minutes, which is more than I did in November, so I'm going to give myself credit for that, especially considering that Thanksgiving takes up a lot less time than Christmas, and I did 4 hours more than I did at Thanksgiving. Still not great, still not exactly happy with it, but it is what it is. So if I add my 54 hours and 47 minutes from December to my previous total for the year, which was 726 hours and 54 minutes, that means for the year I completed 781 hours and 41 minutes, which obviously falls short of my 1,000-hour goal by almost 300 hours. Well, I guess 781, so 120 some hours I'm short. So I did go through and add that total in. Since I started keeping track, I basically had 10,000 and then I subtract my totals for the year each year. After all the years that I've been doing this, I think I hit almost the halfway point. I'm like at 5,800 hours. So I'm over halfway there. Well, almost halfway there, not over halfway. 40% there. Saying almost 50 makes me feel better about the whole thing, but is not accurate. So yeah, disappointed that I didn't make that goal but I don't think I've made it in the last several years anyway. Just too many things going on. Just frankly, I just have other things going on and I don't spend as much time diamond painting as I want to or as I should. Some days I have time to diamond paint and I just don't. And some days I want to and I don't have the time. Same as everyone, I imagine. So I missed that goal. I'm not going to change it for 2026. I thought about lowering it, but it's okay. It's a lofty goal. If I don't make it, if I at least get close, then that's better than nothing. I'm just going to look at it that way. And 1,000 is a round number, so it's good. Okay, and then my second goal for 2025 was number of finishes. And I think I wanted to finish 36, 35, or 36. Did not make that goal either. In December, I finished one kit, which was my patriotic camper. I don't know why that one took me so long. It was a lot more confetti than I had anticipated, and there were a lot more ABs in it than I had anticipated. I mean, I enjoyed the kit. I don't know why it took me so long. I think I was just ready to move on to my December kits, and so I just wasn't motivated enough to finish that one. So that's the only thing I got done. So one finish for December added to my 29 previous finishes means I finished 30 things. So I got pretty close. I didn't obviously get to 35 or 36, but I got pretty close. So I'm happy with that. Even if that means that I missed the goal, I'm okay with that. Like I said, these are things to kind of help me stay on track. And I think I stayed mostly on track, even if I didn't actually attain the goal. And I am going to be dropping down my number of finishes for 2026. I'm dropping it to 24 because I know I'm going to be working on a bunch of large kits next year. So I'm just going to drop the number of finishes. Didn't make my diamond painting hours goal, didn't make my number of finishes. My third goal was Canadian companies. And I feel like I should have rethought this goal at the very beginning. First of all, it was just ridiculous. I think I had 36 companies. I don't even know if there are 36 companies, Canadian diamond painting companies to buy from. I mean, maybe little Etsy stores, but not big companies. I did buy from Captured by Radiance, who makes actual diamond painting kits, and I did order from a couple of Etsy shops, but that was it. So pretty much what I ordered in January was all that I got done. And I feel like I just didn't buy as much as I usually do, which is okay. I'm trying to stay under budget, and Lord knows I have enough stuff I don't need anymore, but I usually purchase more than that, and I just didn't. So again, in December, I didn't buy from any Canadian companies. I'm not going to make it a formal goal, but I am going to try to do better about that next year because I would like to find some people that are here in Canada, because then maybe I won't be stuck paying a whole bunch of money in shipping, and everything keeps changing so much that people are just afraid to mess with it. So there's a bunch of places you can't buy from anymore because they have stopped shipping, which also makes it challenging. So no companies in December. If I add that to my previous total of 3, that means I have 3 for the year. So that is another miss with my goals. So I'm batting 0 for 3, just not great. So moving on to my fourth goal, that was my budget. My budget for the year was, I think I gave myself $1,800. I didn't spend anything in December. I didn't buy anything else. All of my stuff was purchased on Black Friday or Cyber Monday, so I didn't make any purchases actually in December. So if I add that total of 0 to my previous total of $779.19, that means that's all I spent for the year was $779.19, which still sounds like a lot. I did buy several kits there at the end, though. I think I bought like 6 new kits at Black Friday, Cyber Monday. But I came in under budget. I still have $1,020.81 remaining in the budget, which means I came in under budget. I'm going to call that a win. So now I'm 1 for 4. Then my fifth goal for 2025 was to finish all the spanglers in my stash, which I did. Somebody very helpfully suggested that I plan on doing one each quarter rather than trying to do them all in a row at the same time and burn myself out on spanglers. And so that's what I did. So I finished one each quarter. and I got them all finished. So I can say that goal was completed as well. I didn't do any of them in December because I finished them prior to that, but they are all finished. So now I'm 2 for 5. My odds are getting better. My next goal was to slash my stash, and I've talked about this a lot because I'm trying to get down the number of diamond paintings in my stash. I'm actually happy about where it is right now. It's still too big for me to be comfortable with the size of it, but it's better than it was, and I will take that. I don't remember exactly how many when I started out, but I had somewhere around 83-ish, somewhere in there. And I will say some kits I have passed on to others to do, donated or gifted or whatever. So some of them I got rid of that way rather than actually completing them. But I did actually complete, 30 kits this year? So I did do a good chunk of work. So I have, for the month of December, I didn't receive, even though I bought them in November, I didn't receive them until December, my last 2 kits that I bought for Cyber Monday. So those would be +2 to my stash. And then I also donated 2 Oraloa kits, and I finished 1 kit in December, which was my patriotic camper. So 1 DAC that I finished. So +2 that I bought, -2 that I donated, that puts me at 0, and I finished 1, so that puts me at -1. So if I take that -1 and I add that to my previous total, which was -18, that means I'm sitting at -19 for the year, which is pretty good. Okay, so just with some rough calculations, I think that works out to almost a 30% reduction. And I think my goal was 20%. So I'm going to call that a win because they're out of my stash. Even though there's some that I donated, I'm still counting them because they're not in my stash anymore. Also, someone mentioned in a comment that she saw somebody saying they weren't going to refer to it as a stash anymore. They were going to call it their collection. And I remember somebody else commenting that within diamond painting as a hobby, there's 2 different sets of hobbies. There's people who complete the diamond paintings, and there's people who collect the diamond paintings. And the act of just collecting the boxes, even if they never get to them, that's their hobby. That's not me. I want to work on a person, but I've decided that I'm going to call it a collection instead of a stash because stash has such negative connotations. It means like you should hide your stash, or you're stashing it away, or like you're doing something wrong because it's a stash, and I don't like that. So I think I am going to start calling mine a collection now. That makes it sound much better. So next year I will be doing collection updates rather than stash updates. So I'm going to call that one a win too. So out of 6, that's 3 that I did. That's 50%. That's pretty good. And then my last goal was my Stay or Go kits. I thought I was going to make the Stay or Go kits goal, and then I just ran out of time because I previously have completed 2 of them. I did my Midnight Warrior, which was one of my last craftably kits. I only have 2 of those left now. And I completed Autumn Sun, which was a Dreamer Designs kit, and that was one of my Stay or Go kits. And believe it or not, this kit, my Christmas shop, was a Stay or Go as well. And so I thought I was going to hit that goal because I was going to get all 3 of them done by the end of the year, but no such luck. This one is not going to get completed, so I don't have anything to add to my totals for that for December. So nothing in December for my Stay or Go kits, which means if I add that to my previous total of 2, I'm still sitting at 2 for the year. So I didn't quite make that goal either, which drops me below my 50% rate because I've only got 3 out of 7. But I learned a lot this year. I am still kind of going through my stash and figuring out if there's any that I do want to hang on to or things that I want to donate. I still think there's a couple that I may end up donating because even though I don't talk about them all the time, I still have several PR kits that I still have in my stash from various companies that I did the unboxings sometimes years ago and just haven't gotten to the kit. And I am still counting them in my stash. Part of what I did today was to go through and figure out all the square centimeterage of the kits that I purchased, plus all my PR kits, updating some of my spreadsheets so I have everything in the same place so I can keep track of what I want to track for next year. Because for next year, I'm not only going to keep track of the square centimeters of each kit, I'm going to keep track of them by number of kits, so I will count finishes as well. And I am going to also keep track of the number of drills. I went back and looked at how many drills I placed for 2025, and it was a little over 1,000,000. And I think I did about the same in 2024. I'm not going to make a goal out of that either, but I am going to keep track of it. So 3 different ways for me to keep track of where my stash is at, but I only got rid of 2 of my Stay or Go kits. This one eventually will get finished, and then I'll be able to say that this one is gone, but not in time for my goals for 2025, sadly. So, but it's all good. I don't mind that I have to put this one away. I would have preferred to get it done, but it will get done eventually. So, especially now that I have it out, I'll be looking at it. I'm going to put it someplace where I can see it and really try hard to actually pull it down throughout the year. That may not happen, and if it doesn't, I'm not going to beat myself up about it too bad. I've opened it, I've got it kitted up. Eventually, I will get it finished. And I just saw one of those that I missed. And I saw a number 1 that I missed as well. Actually, I think I saw a couple of number 1s that I missed. So let me get the one I know I missed that was up here. And then I think that's a number 1 right there. And I think I already did this symbol, so I must have missed those too. So all in all, not a hugely successful year for me because I missed more goals than I made, but I had a lot of stuff going on at the beginning of the year, what with the move and everything, and trying to buy a house and get settled in a new country, and just lots of little things like driver's licenses and learning where the grocery store was, what foods I can get here, what foods I can't get here that I'm used to in America. Just so many little things. Shopping for clothes. They don't have the same stores here. They don't have as many stores here because the biggest town that we live close to is much smaller than the city I live close to in Kansas. So we just have way less options, which is okay. It's a nice, quiet town, and I appreciate that, but it just takes some getting used to. So like I said, I spent quite a bit of time today kind of going through everything, updating all of my spreadsheets, getting them all ready for next year, because my goals are going to be different next year, so what I need to track is going to be different. Figuring out, like I said, the square centimeter size of all of my kits that are still in my stash, getting rid of the ones, because when I figured it up, obviously I still had some in there in the calculations that I have since completed, so I had to update that. And we all know how I feel about math. Numbers and I do not get along. So it was a bit of a challenge for me to get my brain wrapped around all of that and get everything kind of situated where I want it. I still have some things I need to go through and do. There's things on the YouTube channel that I need to update for 2026. Still have some admin things I want to do. I filled out my logbook too soon, and now I have a bunch of chicken scratch all over it because I wanted to update and change some things, and obviously I've finished some kits since I did that because that was several months ago. So I am going to print myself out another copy and start over. Also, I was down to a lot of my pens that I brought with me from the States are running out of ink now, and for whatever reason I was having a really hard time finding fine point pens here, even to order on Amazon. So the last time we took the trip back to the States, we stopped at a couple of stores and I bought like 2 or 3 different sets of pens. So that should hold me for another year until I can get back to the States again and buy some more. We were talking about that. I told my husband the shampoo that I use that I'm having trouble finding anywhere. I've tried some other things that we can get here and they just don't work as well. And I told my husband, I said, I'm about to just tell my sister I'm going to order some on Amazon and have them sent to her, and then she can ship them to me. I don't even know if that's feasible with the way shipping is going, but I need to do some research about that. Same thing with the Dorothy Lynch and a couple of other things that we can't get here. Maybe hubby and I just need to take a trip back across the border into Maine and pick up some of the stuff that I want, because we can get some of it at stores just across the border. I don't know, we'll see what's going to happen. Things may be up in the air for a while with his dad because obviously we don't know what that timeline is like. So that is how I did in December. Like I said, obviously I didn't make all of the goals, but that's okay. I did take into consideration that I think I set too many goals for myself this year, not only with the move and all of that stuff happening, but just too many life things going on that I did not take into consideration. And so I think I overextended myself. And so next year I'm trying to be mindful of that, which is one of the reasons I reduced the number of goals that I'm setting for myself for 2026. And also trying to be mindful of the fact that I know, again, next year I'm going to be working on a lot of larger canvases because that's what I have left in my stash. I was actually watching a video of another YouTuber, diamond painter, and she was saying that she liked this company, but all the kits were just way too big, anything over 60 by 60, and she won't even consider it. And really, she didn't even like doing ones that large. And I get it. I get not wanting to do kits that are that big, but I bought a lot of these back in my FOMO days when I didn't pay a whole lot of attention to the size of kits and everything. I feel like I did a better job of that this year on Black Friday. I really tried to pay attention when I was ordering the kits to whether or not it was round or square, to what the size was. I did order one that's kind of big, but I really, really love the image, and it's a lot of dark colors, which you normally wouldn't get either, but hubby agreed with me. He really liked the image, so I went ahead and bought it. But I did at least pay attention to that stuff, which I don't normally do, so I feel like that was a win for me. So yeah, I'm going to try and take it a little bit easy next year, not so many goals, and even the ones that are the same, like finishes, I'm reducing. I could reduce the diamond painting hours. I might. I don't know. I'll have to think about that one. I need to go back and look and see if there's ever been a year that I made it. If there isn't, then I probably should, because then I'm just making a goal that I know I'm never going to meet, and that's dumb. But every hour that I diamond paint gets me closer to that 10,000 hours of mastery. So, although if someone asked me if I felt like a master, the answer would be no. Some days I feel like I barely know what I'm doing. It's like I've been doing this for 5 years now. I should know. But also, people are different, and sometimes things that are important to everybody else just aren't that important to me. Like that lady preferring to do the smaller sizes. If it's a kit that I like, I don't mind doing a large kit. Some people would be horrified at a kit like this with the amount of confetti that it has in it. I don't mind it. I find that switching up the colors and everything for me keeps me interested in it. If I was just doing large blocks of color, I'd be bored. I'd probably make less mistakes, but I'd be bored. So it's good that we all like something different. That way there's something out there for everybody, right? I do want to get this one done too, because a lot of the ABs that I'm using in this kit, I could be using in other things. So the sooner I get this one done, the sooner I can pull these ABs off of this kit to use in other things. So that is one downside to me doing the kit this way. So maybe that'll motivate me to keep on going. Okay, I know this was pretty short and sweet, but like I said, I knew this was going to be the last video of December. This one's going to get put away, so the next time you guys see me, I'll either be kitting up my Close Encounters alien kit, or I will be working on the snowman, one of the two. We will jump into January with our winter-themed diamond paint along, which is the snowman kit is what I'll be doing for that one. And then my other kit for the month will probably be that aliens with the color palette that I love so much. And then we'll see what I'm going to do after that. I don't know. That's 2 kits for the month, so I feel like that's good enough for my plan. If I make it to a third kit, then awesome. If I don't, that's also okay. Before I go, I would just like to wish you and yours a very, very happy New Year's Eve and a happy New Year. May 2026 bring you all the things that you want and need. That's it for me today, guys. Thanks so much for sticking around till the end of the video. Before you leave, don't forget to do all the things. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. Hit that subscribe button if you haven't already, and hit that bell notification icon so that you can be informed of future uploads. And as always, guys, thanks so much for watching.